Hi, I'm Antigoni from University of Bath. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm so excited for this. Do you want to introduce yourself to anyone watching?
Yes, so my name is JyellowL. I'm a recording artist based in Dublin, Ireland. And yeah, I make music and do other cool stuff, you know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. I hate bigging myself up.
How is life going in Dublin now that things are starting to slowly get back to normal?
You know what? Life is just the same for me as always, you know what I mean? I'm always just kinda at home working on music and stuff
Mhm.
anyway, or in studio or whatever. So it's been pretty much the same. I've spent a lot more time with family though, which has been cool. Um, been pretty productive, you know. Uh, just been chilling. Things are slowly getting back to normal,
Yeah.
but in terms of, well, whatever that is, whatever normal is really, but which I think normalcy is being redefined. But I think it's slowly, we're just gonna slowly adapt to how things are going to be going forward. Like I hear them talking about drive-through gigs and all. Like
Mhm.
that's crazy. I have
Yeah.
a few of those bookings now. So I perform where people are gonna come in their cars and then tune into the station to get the sound and stuff. So that's crazy. But yeah, it's been good though. It's been good. Looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Well, yeah, happy to hear that. First of all, congratulations for the release of Jewels. Like both the song and the video clip go hard. Do you
Uh,
wanna tell me what it's about and how is the process of making it?
yeah, so Jules basically it's a celebration of the complexity of the human condition, pretty much, which I think through the video we tried to show that process from the beginning towards the end, where we referenced Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, which was shout out to Leonardo da Vinci,
Yeah.
where he don't want to plagiarize or nothing, but yeah, it was kind of trying to hone in on the idea of you have to be introduced to all parts of yourself to fully come to a state of acceptance and unison and just like be your full self and celebrate that for what it is, as opposed to celebrating one part of yourself and neglecting the other. Because I feel like if you really want to improve and become a better human or whatever it may be you want to do, you have to come to terms with what your condition actually is and address it from there, not what you would like it to be.
I
You know
love
what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah, that's so good. And I actually wanted to ask about the whole like meeting behind the Vitruvian Man and how did you come up with that? How is yeah, how did that come about?
Um, I think I've had a weird obsession with well, not weird, it's not weird. Just had an obsession with the Renaissance artists like Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Raphael, all of them. So I was just very intrigued by what they did and how they shaped culture from like out of what, like they basically just redefined what art was and how people perceive arts and even sciences as well, with Da Vinci and everything and engineering and all of that. So I've always been like, I've referenced Michelangelo many times, how he kind of made artists value their art and actually get paid what they were worth, and put a price on their art and their intellectual property, and Da Vinci just for being so innovative and just a genius. And so I think the idea of Vitruvian Man was always in mind while I was making the song and developing the concept and everything of this song. And I think the videographer and Paul Lucian, the director, he got that as well, because I actually mentioned Da Vinci in the song, and he got that immediately. And I think that's Da Vinci's, like, apart from the Mona Lisa, that's like his most popular
Mhm.
piece of art. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of how it came about. We just clicked in that respect. So he also had an obsession with the, as it
That's
turns out, it's
amazing.
mad.
Yeah, that's dope. Um, and should we be expecting a new song in the next couple of days? I saw something about doesn't feel
Yes,
like. What's that about?
yes. So doesn't feel like um that song is dropping on the 22nd. So that's Wednesday, next Wednesday. Um, it's just a song about my experience as an African immigrant in the Western world. You know what I mean? Because I came
Mhm.
to Ireland when I was in my early teens, and it was really the first time that I was made conscious of my racial and cultural difference. You know what I mean? The first time I experienced racism, kind of covert and blatantly overt, or that I was conscious of it. and also the first time I met people who had judgments of my character before actually knowing me, just based off what they see of my physical appearance and all that kind of stuff. And that really made me kind of aware of where I fit in this society, like this cultural, context of the society, and just how it doesn't feel like home at times. You know what I mean? How in those moments, or when I'd experience things like that, I wouldn't feel like I belonged here, which was around when I was like 14-ish, 14 to 16, those kind of formative years here. After a while, just coming to a point where I realized that's not actually how it is. It's not actually how it is. It's just some people are just, terrible. And they just have that, ignorance or hatred. It could be either or. And you can't help them with that problem, So yeah, I guess that's what it feels like. So that song basically is just born from that frustration of it doesn't feel like home. Like, I was in Nigeria, I grew up there, that's where I'm from, and I'm aware and I'm cognizant of the fact that I'm an immigrant here and I'm not indigenous, and some people might never actually see me as Irish, even though I see myself as that. So if they don't see me as that, why should I see myself as that? It's like a weird thing going on. I think a lot of people kind of face that as well.
I'm really excited to hear it. I think
for sure.
Really good. From listening to your music, looking at your background and your speech at the Black Lives Matter protest, and even just what you've been telling me now, like, it's obvious that you're very socially and politically conscious, which I'm 1,000% here for. So and I truly believe that art and artists have a lot of power to ignite and sustain change. So
sure.
What does it mean to you to have this platform as an artist, and what has inspired you to use your voice so powerfully?
I think I've always idolized artists who had a message and who stood for something. Like some of my earliest role models be like Fela Kuti, Bob Marley, Damian Marley, and then even like Eminem for some reason. But people who just kind of had message in their music, you know what I'm saying? And just like someone like Fela Kuti who transcended music and was such a political force in Nigeria for the time. Bob Marley as well, who was so enlightened and everything. And I've always kind of admired people like that. And I've always known that I love music, but I don't want my music to just be, music that sounds good, that people can dance to or anything. I want it to stand for something. I want people to learn from it. I want people to be aware of something that they wouldn't be exposed to, otherwise through my music. My reality, the reality of other people as well, just that social commentary. I've always wanted to put that into my music. So I guess now it's I've been doing it from early on, but I think now it's been it's materializing a lot more as my audience grows and as my music gets heard by more people, and now, you're in England interviewing me about this, you know what I'm saying? So it's growing just that way, and hopefully just keep growing like that.
I'm actually currently in Greece, so even further from what you expected. But
even further? What? Greece? Crazy. What part of Greece?
Well, I live in Athens, but I just go to Bath as my uni. But yeah.
Oh, that's sick, man.
Going off on that whole change theme, what would you consider, change in Dublin, and what does that mean to you in terms of, Black Lives Matter and racism and all those things?
I think the change really is just a change of perspective. I think a lot of the time, I have enough faith in humanity to confidently say that the average human being around here, is decent and actually doesn't stand for oppression or want to oppress, whatever. I have enough faith in humans for that. So I think what it was just people not actually being aware of the experiences of, Black Irish people or just minority groups in Ireland, period. People just not being aware of that, especially in terms of the, there are still a lot of people who believed prior to the protest, I'm talking June, who actually fully believed that there was no such thing as racism in Ireland, because Ireland doesn't have a historically oppressive history of of slavery or anything like that. They don't, for some reason they just thought everyone here is equal, but that's because they don't actually have that hate in their hearts or whatever, so they can't fathom it. So the experience of immigrants so far removed from their reality that they just couldn't even. But what has changed now is people have been more aware of it. The conversations opened up, and I think people are more willing to learn from each other, and take on other perspectives. And what I want people to do on either side of the board is take on perspectives, but not in an adversarial way. You know what I mean? Like, and if you're trying to get your point across, don't try and do it in an adversarial way. Like, just kind of encourage the conversation, encourage the assortment of opinions, and just come to a common goal of understanding. But in order to do that, you have to take on everyone's perspective first. You have to deal with the people who are saying there is no such thing as racism. You have to deal with people who are saying they can't get jobs because they feel like they're automatically written off because of their last name. So you have to just challenge all of those perspectives and just come to a point of understanding. But and then we can achieve compassion. And I think that would be the real change. But there can't be any compassion without understanding. That's what I think. So.
Yeah, I fully agree. And that's what I meant with music being, that like force that it kind of opens that conversation, powerful songs and lyrics. It just kind of works as like I don't know, like the ignition sometimes. But I fully agree with what you just said. So you have your debut album coming out soon. That must be really exciting, and I bet it's gonna be so good. It will like single-handedly save this disgraceful year we're going through. Can we get a bit of an exclusive info on it?
So the album at the minute is being rolled out, so I'm pushing out like single after single. In terms of a final release date for the full project, I can't say definitively because I'm very indecisive. So today, like even Jules wasn't even meant to be the first single, but it just I just went with my feeling and whatever. But and so I don't want to misinform anyone, but I'd say, and also I kind of want the moment when I announce the date. I want it to be a moment. You know what I mean? I want it to be like, oh yeah, everyone is excited for that date and da 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 da. Do you know what I mean? I want it to be done properly. I want to have listening parties and all of that. Hopefully with the COVID restrictions and all of that. But so I guess we just have to see in the coming months. I guess that also all depends on how the singles perform, what songs people take to mostly, and if I feel everyone is kind of ready for the full project. But it will definitely be before the end of the year as well.
Dope. And I think that's like the beauty of being like sort of independent and like not really hang out with labels and stuff. Yeah.
For sure. Even though technically I am signed to my own label, but it's my own label.
Yeah,
so it's
that's not even kind of.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. I mean, if I was signed to a major or whatever, I wouldn't even dare talk like this. I probably wouldn't even be able to talk about the final release day or that there is even an album coming.
Yeah, I feel that. But yeah, despite not being signed to like a major label, like from Ola, like making it to Normal People, which is like one of my favorite songs, by the way, to touring with Nelly, like Ozone making it to FIFA, and all the other amazing things you've done. Is there like a moment so far that you can pinpoint and say like that made you feel like, wow, like I made it, like this is kind of it?
Oh, see, I'm such an on to the next person, so I don't think I've ever felt like, oh, I've made it. Like I've never been that comfortable to allow complacency. But I think a moment where I was like, oh wow, this is really happening was to be fair, as soon as I ever started doing, like, the moment I put out my first song and I saw people reacting to it, like real life people other than my family and stuff, like other people, that was when I was kind of like, whoa, this is mad, this is happening. That moment that I actually had the courage to put it out there. But I guess most recently, the time that I felt like, wow, it's actually like going on a global scale was when Ozone got on the FIFA 20 soundtrack, and everyone was kind of like from all over the world were hitting me up and commenting on the video saying their favorite song on FIFA, etc., etc., etc. That's when I was kind of like, well, okay, now they've just confirmed to me what I already knew about myself, that I had that international appeal and everyone could appreciate my music. But now I know for a fact, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was the moment for me where it basically just confirmed my my inclinations,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that was actually gonna be my next like question. Like artists like you, Zafari's, Her Squad, like Reggie Snow, you're putting the Irish music and rap scene on the map. How has it
Mhm.
been like seeing your music getting out there beyond Dublin and Ireland, like reaching out to so many people?
Well, it's been overwhelming, but like in a good way.
Yeah,
Like it's been overwhelming, that the kind of overwhelming that makes you want more. You just want, like, no, I want to keep this going. I want it to keep spreading and keep spreading, and But it felt great knowing that I was, like, it was a monumental part of the of Irish music history. Me being my song being on FIFA and all of that kind of stuff, and just being able to be part of that history or involved in that and stamped down there. That was a great moment for myself, and also the other people who were pioneering as well. Like you said, Jafari's, Hair Squad, all Reggie Snow, all these people. You know what I mean? Because we come from very barren scene. We're very much first generation of artists who are breaking that, you know, that barrier of just it being a local, small scale thing where, you know, you have people going on tours now, doing massive festivals and massive stages on festivals, etc. So, I'm very proud of what we're
yeah.
creating and excited for what's gonna come from it.
Yeah, as you should be, because all of the people that I mentioned, including you, like I'm personally like a huge fan, and I love that all this is happening and that music is becoming more and more like
Yeah.
globalized in a good way. Like it's reaching out so many people. Um, but which artists have inspired you and your like sound and style? I feel like you do get a lot of comparisons, like J. Cole and Kendrick and that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
I
Um,
actually do.
yeah,
Um, it's weird because hmm, it's very difficult to trace where your inspirations come from. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
you could listen to something today or have a conversation today, and then with someone, and then 10 months down the line, you find yourself writing something about that conversation, like something that's sparked by that conversation. So it's very difficult to kind of trace back until like I have this situation with my brother all the time, and then I play him the music, and he's like, "That's literally the conversation we had like a year ago or something or whatever." Um, so it's difficult in terms of sound. I say the person, like, apart from the obvious Fela Kuti and Bob Marley, and uh, it's so crazy because I think the first person who actually ever inspired me to to rap was Eminem, like ever. So
yeah.
because that was my first rap album, and so I think ultimately that's the person who inspired everything else, I guess.
I think it was my first like rap album I listened to as a kid as well, and then gradually, So yeah, I love to hear that.
Shout out to Eminem, man.
Yeah. Um, the aim of like this interview project that I'm doing is to show how creativity can flourish during challenging times. So my question is, how has your creative process been affected between the pandemic and the protests and all the other like challenging things going on in the world right now?
I mean, it's been great. Like the creative process has been great because there's a lot less distractions, and you have to spend more time at home. Luckily, I have a home studio and everything, so I have my own setup here that I can just, whenever I'm inspired, I can just dive in. But also, I think with everything that's happened and just how the year has unfolded with the pandemic and the protests and everything, just all of it, I think it's allowed for bigger conversations to be had, and new energy just to kind of take on as well. And that's inevitably going to inspire something creatively, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been great for myself personally in the pandemic, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I know some people have found it very difficult, but I've been, I've been, I've been kind of relishing
That's
the
great.
past few
Yeah.
months.
Uh,
Yeah.
what has kept you like sane during this whole time? And do you have like a secret?
Like I say, you don't need much to be creative, you know. All you need is your mind and inspiration. You know what I mean? So um I actually don't know. It could be like, it's so random for me sometimes, and also like everyone else, I do get blocks. You know what I mean? I have writer's block a lot of time, and if I had a cure to that, I'd absolutely write a book and sell it, because I wouldn't give it out for free, because that's something that I've struggled with for so long. So I guess you can't really predict what's going to inspire you or when you're going to be inspired by something, you know. So I actually don't have the secret, unfortunately. If I did, I would absolutely sell it and wouldn't give it up, just for the record.
I love the entrepreneurial spirit. Okay. Okay. Now back to your roots. I wanted to ask, like, how did you get into, you know, rapping, and what kind of started that?
Like I said, I started rapping like in secret when I was about 5 or 6, when I first heard that album. Because I used to listen to a lot of calypso, reggae, Afro beats, Fuji, high life, and I always used to make music. And my brother was big, and my dad as well, very big musical influences in my life, because my dad always used to play us music from very young age, from like the 70s, the 80s, and he had a broad musical ear, very, very broad. And we just had the interest in music from very early on, and he used to be in a band as well, so he'd like make little, like, you know, jingles and stuff that we perform for our families or whatever. And that was just what we were doing back then, like 4 or 5. And then my brother, he was also very into music, and he actually started making music first, and I was just following in his footsteps always. And that was just another thing that he did that I then wanted to do. And I guess when my dad got me that album, the Eminem album, I was like, no, I really want to do this, but I can't let anyone know that this is what I'm doing, because obviously there was a lot of profanity as well, and then my grandma, she just wouldn't have had it. Like, she just wouldn't have had it. So I used to do it in secret, and I'd rap, I'd just have little freestyles in my head and whatever. And then after a while, then my brother actually started rapping. And then when he started rapping and going to the studio and stuff, he was trying to encourage me to do it. And I was like, it's funny you bring this up, because I actually, you know, have some things here. And then he took me to the studio for the first time. Yeah, and that was just that. The rest is just whatever it is now, you know.
Yeah, that's adorable, actually. What about the name?
All right, so the name. So my other brother, it was actually a pet name initially, because my brothers are all dark skinned, so I'm the only light skinned one of us all. So they one of my brothers particularly used to call me Yellow all the time, like just Yellow, 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 Yellow. And then my name is Jean-Luc, my initials are JL. And then one day he was just like, oh, we should just call you JyellowL. Oh, you know what? Then I just kind of took it on as a pet name, and then I made it my Twitter handle, and then that was just that. It was a no-brainer from then.
Yeah, no, it's quite unique. I love to hear that. Okay, what are you currently listening to?
Oh, what am I currently listening to? Well, I do have a playlist on Spotify that I must plug, otherwise my manager will be pissed off. And everything I'm listening to is in there. But I think currently I'm listening to a lot of... I've listened to JME a lot recently. I think I've got a new wave of appreciation for JME after this album. Chronics, I listen to a lot of Chronics. A lot of Afro beats as well. Out here, Burna Boy always.
Yeah.
I've listened to so many random music, like Nasty C, Rima. I've listened to a lot of Jay-Z as well, because he's someone that the more you listen to him, the more you get from it. Like, you get something new every time, especially because he has such a big catalog. Like, I've really been going back like to Blueprints, 1, 2, 3, you know, just the Reasonable Doubt and all of that. Yeah, that's, like I said, if you like, I'll have all of this in my playlist, which is actually a sick playlist that everyone should go listen to.
Okay, I'll check it out and plug it in the description.
Yeah, it's called Brought to You by Yellow. So yeah, man, you have all the vibes there.
Cool.
I've been listening to myself a lot.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to doing the most now that, you know, things are starting to get a bit more open and normal?
Yeah, honestly, normal. Really looking forward to performing again. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just really missed performing.
and
And
you
I
say
knew,
that.
yeah, I knew as soon as the lockdown was announced and then the tour of Nelly got cancelled or postponed, because it was literally meant to be, say if today is Wednesday, the tour was meant to be on Friday, and then Thursday they announced the lockdown,
Oh,
and then they got cancelled that day. So I was I was just very, very distraught. But then I knew, wait, hold on, how long is this gonna last? Because this is indefinite as far as, so what does this mean? I'm not gonna perform again for only God knows how long. But then now that everything's easing up, I'm getting excited again, and I'm not even waiting for people to, because obviously festival season got cancelled, like
yeah.
just everything as well. So there's no festivals. So I'm not waiting for anyone to. I'm just like, we're just here planning tours and stuff because really want to get back on it. I don't know how much longer.
You can do those drive-in ones, if you want to do that so
Those drive-in
badly.
shows. To be fair, I'm excited for those ones because I actually want to. I just want to see how it will turn out, or just
I
how
actually
what.
went to a drive-in comedy, like stand-up comedy show, and it wasn't that bad. So you know what, it
Yeah.
might be good. Yeah.
It might be good, yeah, but I'm just curious for everything, even with the sound and everything, like
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. But I guess we'll see. It's something to look
Yeah.
forward to, I guess.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, final question. What should we be expecting from JyellowL? Like, what's the ultimate dream for now?
Or
I know it's hard.
yeah, that's very, very, very difficult. But I guess ultimately, I want to be able to empower others. I think that's like my I want to empower myself first. That's the short term, but then long term, I want to use that to empower others. So apart from like the political and humanitarian aspirations and that, like that goes without saying. But also just like even the music sense as well. I want to be able to give back to this scene here. I want to really give other people opportunities to achieve what I've achieved and more, and just really break down those doors for them and put them on so that they don't have to go through all the nonsense that I've been through, and
Yeah.
just like, they don't have to have as hard a time. They'll have a blueprint to follow. Do you know what I mean? So I want to do that. I also want to make significant change in the lives of my loved ones. You know what I'm saying? And I think when all of those things materialize, I will be I will in that moment be living my ultimate goal,
Yeah.
dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's so inspiring. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat, and I wish you all the best with the music, the
Thank
album,
you.
and everything. And I hope I can catch you live soon, maybe in like a drive-in
Hopefully,
or an actual one. But yeah.
yeah. Hopefully not a drive-in, depending on. Well, we'll see. But yeah, sure, man. Thank you for having me once
Yeah,
again. I really
thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
And yeah,
have a great evening.
same to you. Same to you.
Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye.